week. Let me let Chico know we up and at him in case he want to pop in. The link is in the chat. I'm gonna pin it to the chat. And so if you're watching this, you're watching it live, just feel free to jump on in. You know what I'm saying? We can discuss these things, whether we agree or disagree. Chico invite. I look at Discord now. The thing is, this is usually an evening thing. And so I don't know who's available, but we still gonna hit the top stories of the week. Give me one moment, doing a little housekeeping here. Make sure everything doing what it's supposed to do, and it is. Let's get this party started. I need to share my screen. All right, where we at with it? First story we're gonna is the Card Island obliteration. This is from the 13th. U.S. forces struck 90 plus targets on Card Island. This is Iran's oil hub. I mean, it's pretty much an environmental catastrophe because we're blowing up oil infrastructure like just into the water. And this is, this is pretty much an unconstitutional use of force. There's no declaration of war, anything of that nature. But it was 90 precision strikes. It just wiped out the island, from what I understand. So we find any pictures or anything. I think we got a video. This Card Island. Okay, so we got some photos here. And so, gas price definitely gonna go up. It doesn't look like a surgical strike to me, but I'm not a professional. It looks like we're about to start a global oil war. Look at that. That's crazy. That's crazy. So basically, there's oil spills in the Gulf. We have no idea what Congress is doing. Republicans are just in his pocket, and hopefully we get the midterm so we can get some check on this executive power. But yeah, that's what's going on with Card. Okay, so there's a whole island here. So they had an oil out. Well, not no more. It was like Gaza. Let's see if we can find anything on it. So we can find any video on it right quick. We ain't in no hurry. It's Sunday night for me and Sunday morning for y'all. So, anybody in no hurry. Let's see here. Let's see what we got going on here. Yeah, not really sure what I'm seeing, but
yeah, that's tripping. That's tripping. Yeah, you tripping. That's hype. That's hype. But yeah, I can see that can start a fight.
Let's see what the FM. So Prime Minister is PM. Foreign Minister. Okay.
Foreign Minister Arakshi, thank you so much for your time this morning, sir. I wanted to start with the news overnight that the U.S. has carried out a military strike on Kharg Island. The President of the United States said that for reasons of decency, I have chosen not to wipe out all the oil infrastructure on the island. However, should Iran or anyone else do anything to interfere with the free and safe passage of ships through the Strait of Hormuz, I will immediately reconsider this decision. Let me start by asking you about what has happened on Harg Island and what is Iran's response to these strikes?
Well, thank you so much for having me. I think our armed forces have already answered that they would retaliate if our oil and energy infrastructure are attacked. And they will attack
Oops, hold on, I'm on the wrong screen.
energy
I'm
infrastructure
gonna
in
check
the
that.
region which belongs to an American company or an American company is a shareholder. So the reaction would be clear.
Hold on.
Last are attacked.
I don't know if y'all heard this. I'm
And
gonna
they
take it
will,
back. Take it back. I was on the wrong screen.
Foreign Minister Arakshi, thank you so much for your time this morning, sir. I wanted to start with the news overnight that the U.S. has carried out a military strike on Harg Island. The President of the United States said that for reasons of decency, I have chosen not to wipe out all the oil infrastructure on the island. However, should Iran or anyone else do anything to interfere with the free and safe passage of ships through the Strait of Hormuz, I will immediately reconsider this decision. Let me start by asking you about what has happened on Harg Island and what is Iran's response to these strikes?
Well, thank you so much for having me. I think our armed forces have already answered that they would retaliate if our oil and energy
I will immediately reconsider this decision.
Are attacked, and they will attack any energy infrastructure in the region which belongs to an American company or an American company is a shareholder. So the reaction would be clear. Last night, they have attacked Hark Island and Abu Musa Island with, the artillery rocket system, HIMARS as they call it, which is a low-range rockets. And they have done it from the soil of our neighbors. And this is crystal clear that now they are using the territory of our neighbors to attack us by these kind of, rockets. And this is absolutely
Which
unacceptable.
neighbors, sir?
Well, the last night attacks were tracked by our forces, and now
What up,
it is clear
Chico?
that they are fired from UAE, from two locations in the UAE, from in Ras Al Khaimah, and from a location very close to the city of Dubai. And it is very, dangerous that they use highly populated areas to launch, rockets against us. We would certainly retaliate, but we try to be careful not to attack any populated area.
You there, Chico?
What's up, man?
Chilling, man.
Hey,
Trying to hit the news for the week, man. I've been out the loop, so I'm trying to catch up.
yeah, I told you what they call yourself, or you're a tender, tender. What you call it, a tender dick?
Yeah, you know we live, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
So I want people know.
Who being tender?
Hey, man, I'm just saying. What's the word, man, of the day, man? You gotta start every newscast out with a word, man, and we play off that word for a few minutes.
You say what?
You say the word, man. I'm gonna give you some news about that word. I'm gonna tie it in for you.
What? We hit the. I just went over to. I guess Card Island. They had a oil island in Iran, and we blew it up pretty much.
You say what now?
Card Island. It was an island in Iran, and where they had like a bunch of oil infrastructure, and we attacked it, and now we got just oil, going into the water. And they asked the foreign minister, like, Trump said, if y'all, some bullshit, he gonna blow the rest of the way up. He was like, we already answered. We any ship that's American, we attacking it. Like, fuck you. We're gonna retaliate.
Sounds about
I can't
right.
blame that man.
Sounds about right.
Has gas prices went up?
right now, man, we're transitioning into, man, the conversation behind us. You know, you probably, if you ever heard me say there's two conversations, the one in front of you and the one not around.
Already.
Right now, the conversation is being had, man. We're not around. See, America was always included in the conversation. We had
Right.
the conversation with other people not around. Now they're starting to. The world is starting to have conversations with us not being around. So, man, they all nodding their head in agreement, saying, yeah, yeah, the Americans is out of control, and this is our chance. You know, for years, man, we've actually looked at them as a leadership, and we was lied to. They're not the leaders. No, they just part of the world, just like the rest of us. And now, mind you, we get the most money, most power, was clearly we're not the most intelligent of the world. So now you put the wrong power in the wrong in hands of the wrong people, man. We got a big problem, and the world is saying we got a big problem on our hands. They looking at it from all angles. It's awful.
I mean,
There was
now,
a time when we would did heinous things, and the world would say, "Well, we don't know if that happened or not." Man, the entire world is saying, "Yeah, it was the Americans that blew that school up of those little
it's
girls."
it's a difference between a guy who goes out, say I'm going bowling, and he go out and do some bullshit, fuck around on his old lady. It's a difference with the guy who do that and the guy that come home with fucking herpes.
And right
There's a
now, as you said,
gentlemanly way. There's a gentlemanly way to do atrocities, and there's the
yeah,
MAGA way.
yeah. And I hate to say, I don't like to use that analogy, but we're the ones that's coming home with herpes. Jesus Christ, man.
I mean, just fuck it, dick
Yeah,
out,
we
just
just
fuck it.
we just out there just raw dogging, and we don't care what happens. And
Yeah,
we talking loud, man, spit coming out of our mouths.
yeah,
It's just I don't know, man. And I wish people could see, man, the conversations of the layman or the regular person in other countries. They could see that, man. The conversation is changing. It wasn't like that 3 years ago with that conversation. It's starting to change.
yeah. Already. Now, the
And
next thing I got up, we got to roll through 'em. This was on the 8th. So everything over the past 7 days. Six U.S. service members killed in Iraqi plane crash. Refueling tankers supporting attacks on Iran went down. Investigation on ongoing. And so these was what country was they in though? It was in Iraq. Okay, okay. And just a logistics nightmare. They was just
yeah,
doing logistics and ended up getting bombed.
yeah, yeah. That could have happened, man, under anyone's watch. But unfortunately, man, when it's under your watch, you feel the brunt of it. And President Donald Trump, man, have yet to come out, or I haven't heard him come out and say, well, he actually did. But well, that's a touchy situation because it was just a failure of our logistics, basically. We wasn't attacked. It wasn't friendly fire. It wasn't. And you know what? At this point, I don't even know. I can't even say. They're saying there was not attack. They're saying it was not friendly fire. They're saying there was no assault against Americans. That's what they're
Let's hear
saying.
the let's hear the most recent official because Forbes is pretty decent. So
And I don't trust anybody anymore at this point. I don't know who to trust anymore. I don't even trust myself.
six U.S. service members flying on board a military refueling plane. It just crashed. It just went down.
They were refueling the tank, and there was some kind of failure or something happened. It could be a number of things. See, give me a second, okay? Man, there were people that was terminated in certain key positions. You know how you often have said, well, like I said, man, where I go to other country and get this medical procedure done or get this done or eat this food, you said, well, these countries don't have things in place to prevent these things from happening to you. America
Right.
does. But see, where you're wrong at is, man, America did. We've taken people out of key positions and replaced them with actually
Yeah.
with actors. And these
Yeah.
actors, man, are not qualified to do these jobs. Now you get people that's up under them that's qualified to do the job. You got somebody up under that person's qualified. But man, the leadership starts at the top. And if there's nobody that's actually putting something in place that's holding people accountable, man, there's little I's not getting dotted and there's T's not getting crossed. There's SOPs not being followed. So, man, you got a standard operating procedure that's falling short. Something like this can occur.
And
And that came from the cabinet, man, being changed with actors.
and the thing is like, okay, so here say the pro-Iran Islamic resistance took credit for downing the plane, saying that it shot down the aerial tanker. Now,
You know what I mean?
normally I'd be like bullshit, but under this administration, I don't
Exactly.
know.
Exactly. You see what I mean? He's like, man, you don't know what to trust anymore.
And the thing is, like, they think it's a game, right? Where when that lady got shot by that ICE officer, and they snatched the gun off that dude and shot that dude who protested ICE. Like,
Yeah.
they think it's a game to come out there and say these are domestic terrorists or
It's
she
not
was trying to
true.
run him
Yeah.
over. And the thing is that you lying publicly, the top people in our government is publicly telling obvious lies. And
That's
so when we get
the
to a
crazy
situation
thing.
like this, I'm sorry, but when we get to a situation like this, shit, you'll tell me any fucking thing.
Exactly. And we watched a Pam Bondi, man, sit there and lie. What's that girl name called? Nome,
Yeah,
Pete Hezis,
Christine.
Christy Nome, Hezis, Patel. Man, we watch these people lie, man. We wait a minute, man, you lying, man. We watching you lie. We know the real story. He just trying to like, man, say it in front of the world, but you sitting there lying like, man, it didn't exist. It didn't happen. We saw it happen. We saw it with our own eyes. So they're telling these lies, man, right in our faces, like man, the world sees these lies. The world is laughing. There's
And you
things
can't be
that's
taken
happening, man.
seriously.
Yeah, well, that's what I said, man. Like, man, I'm not sure if America is we can we take them serious? Can we? Iran specifically said, man, we negotiated with y'all twice and y'all still attacked us. Like, man, we were under negotiations, y'all still attacked us. Like, man, y'all was lying the
Yeah.
whole time. Man, what's the guy named the leader of Ali, the leader of Iran that got killed?
Now I told him.
I told her, but his name is Ali or some crap, right? Um, do you remember who I said was going to supersede him, succeed him, man? And you guys had no possible way. You remember the person I
Your
said?
son.
And man, it sounded crazy, didn't it? Because he said
Yeah.
it, because his father said no. His father said no, that would never happen. Man, it wasn't even questionable for him not to be the actual man to succeed him. Is I saying it right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it wasn't even questionable, but it would have been bizarre 3 years ago. It was like, man, oh, definitely, you definitely, man. It was almost of saying, man, avenge him, avenge what's happened to us. But keep going. This
Um,
we put. You're saying, man, the lies are being told, and it's hard to separate. You know what? I want to say separate the truth from the lies. It's hard to actually respect the person that's talking to you, that's telling you, man, that's rain, that ain't piss.
yeah. And so then,
It's
and
just
then when something else happened, it's like, motherfucker, like I said, you tell me any goddamn thing.
so,
But
man.
and so now we got where apparently Oman, Egypt, and Russia is trying to figure out like to negotiate a peace deal, like right now. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, I mean, like, shit. Iran is bombing wherever US shit is at, and that's some other countries. And they're like, man, shit, y'all gotta chill the fuck out because we getting hit. And so apparently, Putin recently offered. Let's see what we got going on here.
Now,
For
I just want to jump right. I just want to say one
Israel,
last thing.
President Trump
Okay.
is hearing
Hold
from
on.
Vladimir.
Say what?
I was going to say the last thing, man, about Christy Nome getting fired, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, why did she get fired?
Cause she because she it's not for stealing the money, but saying Trump
Huh?
approved her stealing the money.
No, because she told the truth.
Well, yeah,
She got fired for telling the truth.
yeah.
He said, man, was Trump aware of you making these commercials and spending that money? And she said, yes.
And she had pop.
My question is, man, did you hear her say that? Did you hear Trump say that? Did you ever hear her say Trump said that? Say it was
Trump said
okay.
what?
It was okay to make those commercials and spend that kind of money.
I think it was. I think she said Trump. She had Trump's approval
Yeah, but did you ever hear her say before that?
before the hearing.
Yeah.
No,
Yes, she did. Not only did she go and she did it in great detail, and she was really chatty about it. She was highly excited about it. Trump was highly excited about it.
the
And man, she
commercials.
said, huh?
The
Yes.
commercials.
Yes.
I
Yes.
never heard
This
her
was
address it before
ID.
the hearing.
Yes, she brought it up, man. She was like, "Yes, Trump. You know what? He won these commercials, man, for Homeland Security because he saw the way I did mine, and he's like, I want 'em just like that right there." She said, "Sir, do you want to be in a commercial?" He was like, "No, no, no. I just want you to do them the way you did them. Same way you did your commercials for South Dakota, doing the exact same way. You know what? We need that right there." Man, he bragged about how she did them. He was excited about how she did them. And then all of a sudden, man, he come back, man, after it's a bad look and say, I didn't say that. Dude, she was bragging about it last year. You didn't mention it. So that's what I mean by, man, you don't know who to trust. If you lie, you get kicked. Tell the truth, you get kicked. I mean, we just on a wave and we don't even know where we're going. But hold on, man. Dang, I didn't bring my earplugs. All
So
right, go ahead.
let's see what's going on with Putin here.
All right.
Putin on how Russia says it can help end this war. An offer the White House is already rejecting tonight. News Nation's Tom Dempsey live at the White House with those details. Tom, what is this proposal from Russia?
Hey, Natasha, good evening from the White House. Well, during a phone call between President Trump and Russian leader Vladimir Putin earlier this week, Russia proposed taking control of Iran's enriched uranium as part of a peace deal to end the conflict, which President Trump declined that offer, according to sources who spoke to Axios. But actually, just recently, President Trump spoke about how he believes Russia may be assisting Iran during the war.
You think Putin is helping him?
I think he might be helping him a little bit. Yeah, I guess.
You see,
And with the U.S. conducting ongoing strikes, Natasha, early
things is so upside down, right? If let's say we did have a conflict with Iran under a different administration, like a normal administration, right? Let's say whatever happened, it evolved to this point militarily. And Putin said, well, look, we'll make sure we'll take control of the uranium. You know what I'm saying? Let's just get a ceasefire. I would say bullshit. But with this administration, it's almost like we allies with Russia. And
Come on,
the way
man.
he
You
deal
know
with
we
Russia
are.
on a regular basis, like why wouldn't he do it? And then it's like, oh, because it ain't about that at all. It ain't about
hold on, man.
nuclear weapons.
Can you give me like a 15-20 minute break, man? I gotta take care of something right quick.
Yeah, how many business?
All right.
For sure.
Earlier today, President Trump
Chico Papa's ass back on.
also claimed Iran wants to make some sort of a deal, but adding he will not accept one. Reuters cited three sources saying the White House team has pushed away efforts to negotiate so far, and Iran has rejected any peace talks until the strikes end. But today, President Trump also put a focus on the Strait of Hormuz, calling on other countries to do more to combat Iranian threats there. In a series of posts to Truth Social today, President Trump writing in part, quote, "The countries of the world that receive oil through the Hormuz Strait must take care of that passage, and we will help a lot," and saying the U.S. will help coordinate the effort. He also wrote, the U.S. and other countries affected by the strait closure will send warships to keep the strait open and safe. But before adding, quote, hopefully China, France, Japan, South Korea, the UK, and others that are affected by this artificial constraint will send ships to the area so the Hormuz Strait will no longer.
So I guess a situation where he starts some shit preemptively, and then the results of it cause a worldwide oil constraint. And so he hits somebody, they retaliate, and then the rest of the world wants to jump in against the retaliation. I mean, if it worked, I guess it was smart. You kind of forced everybody to be on your side because you put everybody under the gun. And I mean, what is Iran supposed to do? Like, they're a sovereign nation, so they got to retaliate when they're being attacked. That's what every country gonna do.
Longer be a threat. And with the war now at this 2-week mark, Natasha, President Trump also saying earlier today that these strikes against Iran won't be ending anytime soon, with ships and vessels especially being targets moving forward. Natasha?
Tom Dempsey live at the White House tonight with that. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone.
Okay, and we're gonna stick with the international news for a minute, because apparently Israel got a ground invasion into Lebanon. Okay, this from yesterday. So let's see what's going on here. God damn.
Israel is warning this is just the beginning. There's been hundreds of airstrikes.
Like, I think we see this shit, man, and we get desensitized to it. But man, like, can you imagine this shit happening down the street from you? Like, I mean, this don't look like a very densely populated area or whatever, but like, what if that was your like high school or something? Like, it's just a missile just come out of fucking nowhere. Like you don't, man, shit crazy, man.
Israel is warning this is just the beginning. There's been hundreds of airstrikes in multiple locations. Nearly 1,000 people are killed. Civilians are not spared in what Israel calls its war against Hezbollah. Week 2, and the toll keeps climbing. 2,000 people have been wounded, more than 300 of them children.
When the missile came, it shook the building. It hit our neighbors.
Like, this old lady ain't got shit to do with no goddamn Hezbollah. You know what I'm saying? This shit is outrageous, man.
Glass, stones, and everything.
Like, we really shouldn't be fighting wars unless it's like a last resort, man. It shouldn't just be like, because I got political capital, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna do this shit. Like, it gotta be some humanity between different types of people. It's fucking stupid.
Fell on us.
Doctors are concerned about dwindling resources with the mass influx of casualties while treating chronic and other conditions.
This war is very harsh. If we compare it to the 2024 war, we are receiving many civilians.
A ground invasion appears to be next. Israeli troops have been reinforcing their presence along the border and operating in villages inside Lebanese territory, preparing for what could be a major military operation involving creating a kilometers-deep buffer zone. They have begun targeting bridges as part of a military strategy to disrupt the movement of Hezbollah fighters and weapons who continue to fire rockets across the border and engage with advancing troops.
The Lebanese government, which misled and failed to fulfill its commitment to disarm Hezbollah, will pay increasing costs through damage to infrastructure and loss of territory until Hezbollah is disarmed.
International aid agencies are...
Oh, so, I mean, he just admitted we're not trying to... Basically, we're not trying to get Hezbollah. We told y'all to get rid of Hezbollah, and y'all ain't got rid of Hezbollah. And so we about to attack your ass until you get rid of Hezbollah. That's basically what that dude just articulated.
Warning, Lebanon is facing unpredictable challenges as conflict, mass displacement, and the lack of humanitarian resources converge. Nearly 1 million people have so far been displaced in the latest confrontation between Israel and...
1 million people displaced. I think the population of Detroit is 1 million people. So I mean, 1 million motherfuckers ain't got nowhere to go. Come on, man.
Between Israel and Hezbollah. Prime Minister Nawaf Salam says that's 1 in 5 people in Lebanon. He's also warning that Lebanon is facing one of the most dangerous chapters in its modern history. The government and the army are under Israeli and U.S. pressure to confront Hezbollah. Doing so could lead to sectarian strife. Hezbollah is still defiant, warning Israel it is prepared for a long confrontation. But this is coming at a cost for a nation where many have still not recovered from the
Dude. Man, this is destruction.
last war.
And I think we see it so often, we lose the empathy for it. Like, we don't, like, man, you walk outside and you see this. You can't go to work, can't go to school. Your life turns to just fucking acquiring necessities. Like, there's no fuck, you gonna have a girlfriend dealing with this shit, or you know what I'm saying? You got kids and shit. Like, this shit's
2 years ago. For Mohammed Ta'i, he has already lost it all. 4 daughters, his mother, brother, brother-in-law.
Hold on. 4 daughters, his mother. Oh, let's go back. Let's go back. I need to slow that down. Because she was going too fucking fast. I was worried.
His mother, brother, brother-in-law, and nephew killed in one strike in southern Lebanon. Zana Khuder, Al Jazeera, Beirut.
He lost his whole goddamn family in one strike. Mother, brother, brother-in-law, nephew. Man, people gonna hate you for the rest of their fucking life and raise their kids to hate you. All right. Apparently, and so, like, the United States got bases in all these Middle Eastern countries. They don't have any in Iran, of course, you know. And so those we're attacking Iran from these U.S. bases that are in these other countries. And so Iran is bombing those bases in those other countries. And so this is a warning. So I'm guessing it's supposed to be a warning to the UAE from Iran, like, don't let US get you fucked up.
ارتش متجاوز آمریکا به دلیل ویرانی پایگاه‌های نظامی خود در منطقه در پناه بنادر، اسکله‌ها و در مخفیگاه‌های شهرهای کشور امارات جزیره ایرانی بوموسا را هدف موشک‌های خود قرار داده است. به سران کشور امارات اعلام می‌داریم جمهوری اسلامی ایران حق مشروع خود می‌داند در دفاع از حاکمیت ملی و سرزمین خود مبدأ شلیک موشک‌های دشمن آمریکایی را در بنادر کشتیرانی، اسکله‌ها و مخفیگاه نظامیان آمریکا در پناه برخی از شهرهای امارات را مورد اصابت و هدف قرار دهد. از مردم مسلمان کشور امارات و مراکز جمعیتی می‌خواهیم نسبت به تخلیه بنادر، اسکله‌ها و مخفیگاه آمریکایی‌ها در شهرهای امارات اقدام نمایند تا آسیبی به آنها نرسد. ان الله عزیز ذو انتقام. ارتش متجاوز آمریکا.
He said the mighty Allah is the Lord of retribution. Shit. For the same serious. And the thing is too, like, Iran they've been getting threatened from the United States for 20 years. They might be ready. I don't think the military can match ours, but they might be studied all the best shit that's been worked against us and how to bog us down and keep us in, you know what I'm saying? Shit, they might be ready. All right, we're gonna switch it over from international news and let's go to the I keep seeing this save act brought up a lot, man. And I think we almost need to probably do I think I might just need to do a video on this. Specifically like a deep dive. There's a lot of misinformation, but do a quick, you know, just an overview of it. Pretty much it's a situation where if you want to register to vote, you got to bring documentation to prove your citizenship. So birth certificate or passport. I believe I looked it up before. It's like 21 million Americans who don't have access to their passport. And so the thing is that if you don't have your passport or a birth certificate, you just can't vote. Now, this is supposed to prevent illegal immigrants from voting in our elections. If you're an illegal immigrant in America, why the fuck would you go vote? for one. And if you do, you go to fucking prison, then you'll get deported. So like, I don't understand like what they think just for one vote. So illegal immigrants love Democrats so much that they're gonna expose themselves in a public place, risk being incarcerated and deported just for one vote. So the whole premise don't even make sense. I believe it was like one of these audits that looked over like 70 years of voting, and they found like 15 instances of illegal voting. That's like way under 1%, like over 70 fucking years. And so, the goal is not to prevent illegals from voting. The goal is voter suppression. Poor people are less likely to have their documents. They lose their birth certificate, they don't have a passport. And then when you want to register to vote, you got to pay for it. And if you have your birth certificate, you got to gather all these other documents, take a day off work, and then go down to the office to get your birth certificate, spend the money and all of that. What if you ain't got no car? You better go through that house, so you better catch the bus to go do that shit. You know what I'm saying? And you got to take a day off work, and you got to spend some money. And so, like, the goal is to keep the poor folk out of it, because the thing is, these are the people that's less likely, you know what I'm saying, to vote for Trump. It passed the House, and what they would have to do in the Senate is remove the filibuster in order for it to be a straight party vote. And so right now they would need like 7 Democrats to cross over and vote for it. And it would be the stupidest fucking thing a Democrat could ever do, is to vote for this dumb shit. Your citizenship is already verified, for one, by attestation. So when you sign a paperwork, you're saying, you're basically pledging under penalty of perjury that if you're not what you say you is, you're gonna have a problem. Then they check DMV records. In order to get your driver's license, you got to submit documents that usually verify your citizenship. And then there's a database called the Save Data Database, and they compare your information against that database in order to verify that you're a United States citizen. And so the thing is that they're creating a solution for a problem that doesn't even exist for the efforts of voting suppression. And so it's a clown show, but let's check out here. Got a video on it. Did I watch this one?
For instance, with
Back at Senate Majority Leader John Thune after the South Dakota lawmaker said the Save America Act is unlikely to pass law.
Well, he's got to be a leader, If he's a leader, he's got to get him.
Oh, and this bitch. So this bitch, man, this motherfucker got us under fucking, he got us held hostage. Okay, so President Trump says he won't sign any bills until Congress passes Save America Act. Oh my goodness. So, man, I just read that just now. Oh, you bitch. Trump says he won't sign any bills until Congress passes. So, okay, so our government is effectively shut down, except for executive orders, because his executive orders work immediately, but the legislation that gets passed, I ain't gonna sign that shit. It gotta be a way around it. I need DMC. He's the procedure guy. I gotta look that up. Hold on. No. We gotta look that up now. Hold on. What the shit? The president could just not sign bills? Heard no shit like that before. I ain't heard nothing like that before. Just decline to sign bills. I need a goddamn drink. I gotta order some tequila reading this shit. Okay. I, as president, will not sign another bills until this is passed. Total gridlock. You don't have the 60 votes. You need, I believe you need 70, you need 7 Democrats to cross over. Okay. If the president simply declines to sign a bill that sits on his desk, the Constitution provides two different outcomes depending on whether Congress is in session. Oh, okay. If Congress is in session, the president does nothing for 10 days, excluding Sundays, the bill automatically becomes law without his signature. Okay. Okay. And if it's adjourned, Congress goes on break. Congress goes on break during that 10-day window. Hold on. This might be cheap law. My phone is wet. Keep up my fucking phone. Okay. If Congress is adjourned, if they go on break during that 10-day window, the president still hasn't signed a bill, it dies automatically. It's called a pocket veto. And it cannot be overridden by Congress. Okay. If he actively sends a bill back to Congress with objections, it's a standard veto. Can override it with 2/3 majority of both House and Senate. Are we not adjourned, don't we? Mm, mm, mm. Them motherfuckers, I ain't signing nothing unless you do what I want you to do. Okay, they are in session. Okay, cool.
Most popular bill I've ever seen put before Congress. And it's voter ID and it's voter. You have to be able to be a citizen to vote. It's called citizenship.
The president says the legislation is critical for Republicans to win in November's midterm elections. The Save America Act would require proof of citizenship to register to vote, along with a photo ID to cast a ballot. It would also place restrictions on mail ballots. For more, let's bring in CBS News election law expert and contributor David Becker. He's also the executive director at the Center for Election Innovation and Research. So, David, if the Senate were to pass the SAVE Act, how would this work?
You know, I'm not even sure lawmakers know. The bill is a huge bill that would require the creation of a vast bureaucracy in every single state, a vast and expensive bureaucracy to collect and store and make reviewable data that government already has. We should realize that, for instance, with proof of citizenship requirements, we know that DMVs are largely collecting this information. All of us, when we go into motor vehicles agencies now to get our IDs, we have to show proof of legal presence. And the motor vehicles
There's
agencies,
so many documents you need.
Yeah, and they're storing that. So we have already proven our citizenship with motor vehicles, but this bill would require us to show it again and again and again, to dig it up repeatedly, to show it again and again and again. Even though government already has it, it's a bill that would make us work for government rather than make government work for us. It also requires the most extensive ID, the most restrictive ID of any state in the country, way more restrictive than any other state currently has. It requires an ID that also proves citizenship, which most of us don't have, which would require many of us to have to prove citizenship again, to once again dig up our documents and bring them with us when we vote. And if we want to vote by mail, it would require us to find a copy machine and copy our ID not once but twice. Once when we ask for a mail ballot, and second when we return it. This is a radical change of elections. And I think this is one of the reasons that this bill has slim to no chance of passing. As with other bills, we recall in 2021, the Democrats tried to pass a sweeping election reform bill. Both of these bills have been similar in the sense that the opposition party is united in opposition to it. And Republicans in this case, there's a few who aren't in favor of it, a couple of Democrats who weren't in favor of the 2021 bill the Democrats were pushing. So we're seeing, I think, this likely to play out. Senator Thune is going to allow it to come to the floor, and I think it's very, very unlikely to pass.
Well, David Becker, thank you for explaining that. Appreciate it.
And I think he's in error because when you talk about his real ID, and some real IDs got an extra seal that like confirms citizenship. But from what I understand, they're not even accepting that. You gotta have your paperwork, like your physical documentation, like your birth certificate or a passport. And Florida passed a bill similar. Student ID. And it's funny how the restrictions that they put on it it affects the demographics that don't traditionally vote for Trump. So like younger people or whatever. Let me see where it's at. Yeah, there it goes.
The Florida legislature just approved its own version of the Save America Act. Similar to President Trump's federal bill, the legislation will also require proof of U.S. citizenship in order to register to vote. Plus, each voter will need to be verified through the state. The National News Desk, Jeff Harris, joins us. And while this new bill, Jeff, will not impact the midterms, it does come with a few restrictions. Tell us more.
So this new state-level version of the SAVE Act in Florida does not go into effect until January, meaning it will be in place for the 2028 presidential election pending a signature from Governor Ron DeSantis, but it does come with some limitations for students. Under this new bill, students will no longer be allowed to use student IDs as an acceptable form of identification. Instead, applicants will have just over half a dozen options to choose from, including driver's licenses, birth certificates, and also U.S. passports. Critics of the bill say these new rules hurt those voters who don't have these forms of identification, while supporters argue it will ensure voter integrity.
It is a common sense piece of legislation and should be simple stuff. If you want to vote in our elections, you should have a voter ID. If you want to vote in our elections, we should verify that you belong here in the country, and we should verify your citizenship.
According to the state's Office of Election Crimes and Security, in 2025, the state found 198 likely non-citizens who illegally registered or voted in the state of Florida. That's out of the over 13 million people on its voter rolls. Now, the bill also taking proof of citizenship a little bit further here. It will require the state's Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles to include legal status on any new or renewed driver's license or ID card.
So apparently, they bought steak and lobster for the military. Like they had, I guess, had them like a good meal. And what I've been hearing is that the left has been angry about it. I don't really have a problem with it unless it's something in there I'm not aware of. But let me see if I can find something here. One moment. The first video coming up is by Officer Coon. It's an 8-minute video though. Fuck it. Let's see. Let's go and do a little tap dance, little Coon show right here. Fuck it.
Only crazy lunatic Democrats are upset that the men and women who serve in combat zones in this country, dying for your freedom, is getting steak and lobster. Who will be mad at that? They deserve to have a good meal every now and again. All right, come on, let's play the clip of CNN, and then we're going to play Scott Jennings, because I guess this clip that I'm going
for ribeye steak, $6.9 million for lobster tail, $225 million for furniture. He spent more in the month of September than most countries on earth spend in their defense.
Well, do you believe
all for himself? Lobster tails?
Do you believe
while our troops are eating MREs?
No. Do you believe the Secretary of Defense is personally eating all the lobster?
Well, he can't eat 16. Oh, really? The troops are getting lobster
frequently.
Brothers Defect has steak and lobster.
How's this steak and lobster? All right. Damn, you're decent. How's yours?
I'm ready for war. We're going to war.
My God!
Troops who are going to war.
Oh my God!
Great meal. You know that.
They're getting lobster. You are so full of it.
Killed over this.
You're
going to get killed over this. Internet, do something.
I might have to double it. I had to run it back.
CNN need to, for the third time this week, need to come out and make a statement apologizing to Pete Hegseth and the military for acting as if Pete Hegseth is somehow spending millions of dollars on steak and lobster at his house with his kids and his wifey.
Should they be eating? PETA? Come on. Every Pentagon does this. Biden just spent billions on ribeyes and lobster in 2024, right when he was going out the door. It's actually history in the United States military. Usually when you get surf and turf, you're about to deploy overseas, or you're about to go on a dangerous mission. So when everybody gets there.
I knew I heard that before. And so it's I don't understand the freak out part. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I've heard that before. Like before they're about to go to war, they get a good meal. And I ain't got no issue with that at all.
Food, they're like, uh-oh, where are we going? And where did they go? I think we can all see.
All right, I want to bring in Brad real quick because I think Jesse Waters was, the first part of what he said was incredibly accurate, but I think there needs to be some context here because I don't think that's necessarily true. So, all right, let's go to Brad in the media room. Brad, tell us a little bit about
Brad in the media room.
Why you're qualified to say this and what the truth is.
So I was in the Army. I got a combined total of about a little over 3 years deployment in Iraq. A year and a half was in the Army during the surge, and then another couple years as a contractor working at the State Department. In the Army, yeah, he's halfway right. It was not just for like a big mission. It's generally Fridays. If my memory serves you right, Fridays you go to the big chow halls. They'd have steak and either lobster or crab. That was under Bush in 06, 07 when I first ate it. And then under Obama in 10, 11, and 12 at the embassy, almost every Friday, steak and either crab or steak and lobster tails, which was a big morale boost because, we were living out in the combat outposts out in the cities. You get a chance to go back to the big base and you and the guys sit down and have a decent meal. I mean, yeah. It's been going on for a minute.
I don't know. This might be a manufactured outrage because I can't find nothing showing where somebody on the left is arguing about it. I mean, yeah, that clip from CNN, but he did cut it very short. And so I don't know what, and I can't find that actual video on the CNN channel. And so I might have to look into this one. Okay. It's like I said, $200-something million on furniture. So that's a bigger deal than the goddamn troops. Okay, this is from 4 days ago. So let's see. This is a damage report. So that's the left.
Do you remember when just a little bit ago we talked about how the Pentagon was racking their brains to figure out how are we going to spend this extra $500 billion that for some reason Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump thinks we need? Well, yeah, no, that's a lot of work to figure out how do we waste that much money. But don't worry. They've been working on it throughout this last year, and they have been treading new ground and developing new techniques to waste taxpayer dollars in ways that are ridiculous and over the top, insulting, and I think demanding of congressional inquiries. So let's get some examples of that. What are they spending all this money on? Well, fancy meals and fancy furniture and musical instruments, apparently. So the Department of Defense, their spending back in September reached levels that have not been seen since 2008. Basically, like, I think the height of the surge in Iraq. A total of $93 billion for 1 month. And here is how they spent the money. And bear in mind why they spent the money. If you don't need this stuff, why spend it? Well, as I'm sure many of you know, either from working in corporate America or from watching that great episode of The Office, if you don't spend your entire budget, then you are sending a signal that you do not need your entire budget, and theoretically it will be cut. Now, I don't think that should be a real concern with the military. The Republicans are literally never going to cut the budget, but they apparently thought that was going to happen, and so you get this sort of spending. They spent $225 million on furniture in 1 month.
Damn.
$225 million. If you asked me, how much does all the furniture in America cost? I'd guess, I don't know, 200 million? They spent that much in 1 month, the most since 2014. That included $12,000 on fruit basket stands. I don't even know what a fruit basket stand is. When you want fruit to stand up, you can just put it in the basket. It doesn't need its own stand. They spent $60,000 on premium Herman Miller chairs. I honestly don't even think that's that many chairs.
What the fuck is a Herman Miller chair? Sure, it was really nice chair. What's it go for? Excuse me, what's it go for? God damn, these $2,000 chairs. Shit. Okay. Seems pretty fucking expensive.
Purchased $2 million worth of Alaskan king crab in 1 month. They've done that 5 times while Donald Trump has been president. 5 times they've spent $2 million on crab in 1 month. Musical instruments also. On a Steinway & Sons grand piano, a $26,000 violin, a $21,000 handmade Japanese flute. That was among the $1.8 million spent on instruments. There better be a fancily clad bard marching with our soldiers into war with these expensive ass instruments. They're going to be asked to spend $1.5 trillion on defense, nearly as much as the rest of the world combined. Washington must be able to defend how every dollar is being spent. Open the Books' findings, that's the group that did the investigation we're quoting here, that binge-buying bureaucrats at the Pentagon burned through tens of billions of dollars on impulse view, that they're...
Yeah, see, if they... This sounds like manufactured outrage. They do say, oh, people complain about how much money you spent, then you focus on the one thing that was positive for the troops, and I make it seem like that's what it's all about. Let's stay local. Okay. Second. I'll let him talk. I'll let him talk a little more shit while we get this straight. What the fuck I did? Oh, there you go. No. There you go. Yeah.
Do you remember when just a little bit ago we talked about move on. Kristi Noem, she's not in a position to spend this sort of money anymore. Do you remember, we've reported on this too, she spent millions of dollars wrapping ICE vehicles with cool logos so they could be in her videos, and she looked so tough and badass, like she was in a rap video or something. Yeah, it turns out when you do that and when you put ICE all over the vehicles, ICE agents don't want to use it for some understandable reasons. The first being that it is harder to surprise migrants when it's like, we're coming to deport you on the side of the thing with like underlighting and a big Paul Walker spoiler and everything. Also because their tomatoes are gonna get thrown at the vehicles and everything. Like they don't want to be identified as ICE. What part of masking their face did you not understand?
Her dumbass said, I think that looks
Gas
cute.
prices are surging
She said, I think that looks cute. Let's spend the money.
amid the
The fucked up part is she probably contracted somebody who she knew to do the work and make the money. Like these motherfuckers is robbing us, man, right in front of us. I like it when they did it behind closed doors. This open robbery is not cool.
ongoing conflict with Iran. Oil prices are swinging dramatically over the uncertainty in the Middle East.
Prices have spiked since the U.S. and Israel launched the war against Iran. KTLA's Shelby Nelson live in Rancho Cucamonga with the latest on the impacts being felt across Southern California.
Rancho Cucamonga and the fuck you said the cracker killers.
Shelby.
Sure, Micah, these impacts are widespread, not even just for drivers, but also for business owners, those who own these gas stations. And you can see it for yourself over my shoulder. The regular unleaded out here at this gas station in Rancho Cucamonga, $5.50.
Damn, it costs $10 for 2 gallons? Wow.
Now, I did speak to an expert earlier today who tells me that these prices will likely continue to increase through the week. If you could describe the rise in gas prices in one word...
Terrible.
It's pretty frustrating, yeah.
Tough. I have to stay above a quarter tank for me not to kill my pockets.
The national average gas price going up nearly 50 cents in a week, stemming from the Iranian conflict overseas. Locally, most people are seeing the impact in the form of gas money.
I commute quite a bit. My office is in Pasadena. I drive from Victorville. These gas prices are just horrendous.
And while Phil Cooper has the option to get gas in different counties, it doesn't make much of a difference. In LA County, the price for regular unleaded, $5.25, up 55 cents in a week. Orange County saw a 58-cent increase in that same time span. And in the Inland Empire, the price for regular unleaded going up almost 60 cents over the course of 7 days.
Overnight, we saw crude oil prices go to almost $120 per barrel, which definitely was something that grabbed everyone's attention. Thankfully, it closed down today at about $95 a barrel.
While oil prices surge, petroleum analyst with Gas Buddy Matt McClain says there's no telling that prices will come down in the immediate future. Critical oil and gas infrastructure is at risk, especially after Israeli strikes targeted several fuel and oil storage tanks in Iran. What's exacerbating the global economy's fuel supply is a key passageway.
The Strait of Hormuz is closed. That's 20% of the world's oil supply that's in a chokehold and not getting out. That's a problem.
At a news conference President Trump hosted Monday afternoon in Florida, he said they're achieving major strides toward completing their military objective. He acknowledged higher gas prices.
Well, we're looking to keep the oil prices down. We went artificially up because of this excursion into a very positive thing. I knew oil prices would go up if I did this, and they've gone up probably less than I thought they'd go up. But I don't think anybody thought we were going to be this quickly successful.
NBC5 response tonight at North Chicago.
Okay, and so gas prices are out crazy. Okay, the one big beautiful bill shifts 1.6 trillion in costs to the states. And so Arizona, Idaho are facing death spirals with thousands of seniors who lose care. And so millions of people is about to lose their health care because of the costs got put to the states instead of the Fed. Red states is going broke, man, and the Medicaid gonna be one of the first thing they're gonna cut. This is one of the stories. It's not being talked about a lot because I couldn't find many videos on it.
Chicago man who relies on a wheelchair and 24/7 care in a nursing home says he suddenly lost his medical coverage and he had no idea why. NBC5 response investigator PJ Rendawa looks into how this could happen and what you need to know so your Medicaid coverage doesn't lapse.
Paul Paoli and his brother Louis have always been close.
He's my younger brother and better looking brother.
Several health issues mean Louis lives in a nursing home and relies on Medicaid administered through county care.
Right now he's in a wheelchair, but he's been doing occupational therapy.
And that means Paul's role has shifted from simply brotherhood.
I'm his caretaker and power of attorney and all that kind of stuff.
But in January, Louis got some surprising news at the nursing home.
He said, hey, some lady just came by and said, I'm no longer on county care. And I'm like, well, what are you talking about?
Louis relied on Medicaid for over 2 decades, and suddenly it was gone. What would that have meant for him and his care going forward?
I would have been making room in my house, I guess. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, his family.
Do you think it would have delayed his recovery?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Paul spent weeks investigating and finally found out why. Louis needed to reapply for Medicaid. Illinois Healthcare and Family Services Director Elizabeth Whitehorn explains this redetermination process could catch some people off guard because it just resumed for the first time since the pandemic.
For a lot of our customers who, some of them may be going through it for the first time, because if they only got on Medicaid during the pandemic, this would be the first time they're doing it.
Whitehorn says Medicaid beneficiaries are notified via mail, but Paul says his brother never received that letter.
He never received a notice that, hey, by the way, you better reapply because you're going to lose your benefits. And I'd been managing his mail, and, then because of that, he got knocked off of the Medicaid.
So one piece of missed mail could have meant
Yeah.
No more Medicaid.
Exactly.
Even though Paul says he
They're gonna
wasn't
have
notified,
put up some
Medicaid
mail
told
and use
NBC5
benefits.
responders.
All right, something about RFK and peptides. I don't even know what the fuck a peptide is.
There was
This
a
is coming
law
up
written.
on my little model here. So, he's promoting untested peptides. It's considered pseudoscience at the highest levels of government, endangering public health for profit. They're being sold as a miracle cure. But we don't know if peptides are safe or just pseudoscience to sell you supplements. So I'm not really familiar with peptides.
That to allow compounding pharmacies to make compounds that were part of approved drugs. So, part of approved ingredients of approved drugs, to make them individually for patients who did not have access to the particular formulation that they needed to fit them. Maybe if they had an allergy to the commercial brand or whatever. And the compounding pharmacies, and peptides was part of that group. There were 19 peptides that were widely formulated by compounding pharmacies. During the Biden administration, they illegally moved those to category 2, which says do not formulate. It was illegal because they're not supposed to do that unless there's a safety signal. And they didn't have a safety signal. They're not allowed to look at efficacy. They're not allowed to say, well, we don't believe these are efficacious or whatever. They can only look at safety. They moved those to category 2. What happened? There was huge demand for peptides. And so a black market came out. And the black market is run by companies that say that they're making the peptides for animal use or for research purposes. And that peptide now basically completely replaced the legal market for peptides. We inspect those. You know you're getting a good product. You know you're getting what you bought, what was advertised.
What up, though?
With the gray market, you have no idea. And a lot.
Anything about this peptide shit?
Who?
I don't know. It's some RFK is it was a ban on something called peptides, and RFK lifted the ban. And like I guess some people say it's like just basically pseudoscience, like selling like supplements type shit. And other people say it's damn near they're like a miracle cure. Is that like Ozempic or something? I ain't even heard this shit before.
Maybe they say it's peptide.
They call it peptides.
And JFK says it's not good for you.
No, he's saying he lifted the ban recently.
Oh shit. Oh, here's the thing about JFK, man. The fact of the matter is that, man, if you had gave me a fucking a non-drug recovering addict, non-mega, man, a lot of the shit he's saying is kind of like that truth in it. But then, man, you look at this guy talking, and then he's back in the fucking he's in the circus. You're like, man, I don't know. You know he's got no medical background, man, but he can't. But it doesn't take medical background to do research. I'm not sure if somebody's supplying with information, but and then of course there's a analog clock can be right twice a day, no matter what if it's dead. So I don't know, man. When he's talking, it's hard to swallow it.
So what happened is the FDA moved 19 popular peptides to category 2, significant safety risk or insufficient data, prohibiting compounding pharmacies from legally making them. He argued that the previous restrictions had a gray market, drawing people to buy unverified research chemicals from overseas and unregulated markets. While the FDA list is being finalized, the 14 peptides will be restored. They are not FDA approved. Category 1 means they can be compounded, but doesn't mean they have gone through the clinical trial process to become an approved drug like Ozempic. Okay, I don't know. I don't trust that motherfucker for shit, so I don't know.
Well, one thing, man, my thing is, man, you follow where his money is at. If he got money based in it, got money in tied up in the company, then it's a no. But there's no ties at all for his money to him or his family or his friends. Then you know what? I'm like, okay, we can look into it. Well, if we look down the line, and man, he kind of has stayed in the company. Fuck no. Somewhere in the company, I don't know if it was a subsidiary of a company. No, man, I'm no. Hell no and hell no.
Yeah. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, I don't know what this is. The San Benito pregnant girl scandal? What the fuck is that? Pregnant migrant girl held in squalor in Texas. Pregnant 13-year-olds held in squalor in 2026 border. I haven't heard about this one.
He 13, she pregnant.
I don't know. I'm just reading the little blurb on it.
What news you got there, right?
Hmm. Uh, 2 weeks ago. I just found an article.
Yeah, you're live.
Yeah. All right. Trump administration's policy of sending pregnant unaccompanied minors, including children as young as 13, to specific medically inadequate group shelter in San Benito, Texas. That's 2018. Why is that on my list? What's going on? Hold on. It shouldn't be on my list now. Okay, I'm gonna skip that one. That shouldn't be on the goddamn list. Okay. This is weird. This is odd. Hold on. Now you know, like America don't have like dual citizenship, right?
Right.
And if you don't want to be an American, you know, you got to pay to get out of being an American. So all kind of shit. It's hard to not be an American no more. These motherfuckers lowered the fucking price to renounce your citizenship. State Department slashes the fee for renouncing U.S. citizenship by 80% to $450. If Americans, it was legal battles on it though. It was Americans who wanted to give up their citizenship. The department on Friday published the final rule that reduces the cost from $2,350 to $450.
Well, if you're not following Donald Trump, they say, man, we don't need you. And
Yeah.
no, usually the person is saying that they don't want to be American anymore, it's because they got problem with Donald Trump. This current administration. So they say, okay, well
it's usually a tax thing. And so like Americans are taxed like I think in Paraguay is like a tax haven for people because they charge like super low taxes. But an American, you're gonna get taxed regardless. You know what I'm saying? Because Americans get taxed. And so people want to renounce their citizenship, so they're not responsible for those particular taxes. And so that's like a rich dude avoiding taxes type of thing. As opposed to you know what I'm saying?
You can be a billionaire, right? Let me run this down. I'm gonna run it to you right quick. You can be a billionaire worth $5 billion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Denounce your citizenship and then get a hire for your own company, right? And pay yourself $1 a year, which work for the company in the United States, and you basically pay no taxes. Mm-hmm. Brilliant. Well, brilliant. I mean, that was easy to figure out, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I've seen when I was started doing this, you can look at all kind of information, and it was somebody talking about the renunciation thing, and it was more so about the avoidance of taxes.
Yeah, that's all it's about. And man, follow the money. I mean, the answer is money, man. What's the question? These are money questions. The answer is money. What's the question? Would you denounce your citizenship? No. And you don't go anywhere? And you can get paid, you know what? Shit, some crazy amount of taxes off your
I
salary
mean,
a year?
I mean, if you some super rich motherfucker, I can see the reason. I can see the idea.
The answer to money was the question.
You know what I'm saying?
It makes sense, man.
Let's see the next story. Oh wow. Okay. Well, he want to do this peptide shit, but what about this? We got fucking a measles epidemic.
Well, you don't have to take about a year ago. You don't have to. You're not required to take the measles shot, and it's not like a requirement thing in schools anymore. So there was a measles outbreak, and we all knew this was coming. People are dying over it. We already knew it's coming. So the thing was, let's let it lay it out so it play out. So we can say, "I told you so." You know, that's our thing right now. I told y'all it's gonna happen. I told you it's gonna happen. And instead of screaming to the top of your lungs, what's gonna happen? Okay, just let it happen then. We'll see what happens. Watch. And that's what you keep saying. We all knew it's gonna happen.
Measles outbreak.
Welcome back. Health officials are raising concerns as measles cases continue to climb across the country. And so far this year, Washington has had 26 confirmed cases, and more than half of them are in Snohomish County alone. Joining us now to talk about the rise in measles cases is State Health Officer Dr. Tao Kwan-Get. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, let's jump right into this. Can you explain what measles is and how it actually spreads?
So measles is a rash caused by the measles virus, and it spreads through the air.
I don't know nobody who had measles.
Same thing, man. Same fucking.
No, measles is more dangerous.
Yeah, but I think it's like a form of chickenpox. I think it's all like warts and all that shit's like a form of each other, man.
1,100 cases in 2026. So 1,100 cases in 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Bad.
Wow, that's conspiracy theory bullshit. Because you don't believe COVID real. Fuck.
Did you ever talk to anyone out of the country talking about COVID while it was going on? And don't
No,
answer that just yet.
I was in the States.
The reason why I asked that question is, man, because in the United States, man, you have people screaming, "Oh, it's a conspiracy. It ain't real." But in other countries, especially countries that have access to drugs and things like that, and they was kind of like, man, because everybody was following America. You know what they call it? What we call it when staying at home, shelter at home. What we calling it? A lot of the other countries doing the
Social
same thing.
distancing.
No, that was our thing, social distancing. Well, we originally said, man, stay at home. Where we like, man, we stay amongst our families. But the thing is that, man, we had our own homes, so we had access to things in our homes, right? But see, a lot of other countries, man, they were confined to small communities, and that stuff was rampant in them communities. And man, it was like just awful in those communities. Let me give you a case, like even like let's think a small little neighborhood in South America. That stuff was going through those places like typhoons because, man, there was no distance from the adults and the children. Like, man, in America, we can distance ourselves from our elderly people. But when you come in poverty and things like that, there's no distance. Grandma is still there. Grandpa is still there. They don't go anywhere. They don't have Social Security or they stay by themselves in a little small house. They was right there with the kids. Contract. I was telling getting that
Well,
disease.
in that same vein, I can't find a YouTube video on it. I need to mark these. I need to make them. Okay, so basically the EPA just released basically just I'm gonna just read it from what I got over here. EPA made it legal to pump cancer-causing chemicals into the air. On March 12th, they officially moved to weaken pollution limits on ethylene oxide. It's a gas that they know causes leukemia and breast cancer. They're rolling back to 2024 safety standards. It's basically a $630 million gift to these corporations, to sterilization companies over the next 20 years. According to Earth Justice, this will move to expose at least 85,000 more people to what the government calls unacceptable cancer risks. Ethylene oxide is used to clean medical gear. It's effective, but it's lethal. EPA administrator says that these safety measures threaten the supply chain, and many of these facilities are in low-income neighborhoods and communities of color. And so what they do is, they put the poisonous shit in our communities.
Yeah, that's not new. I mean,
the agency's
it's
own
called
data shows that children are the most vulnerable because this chemical stays in their bodies longer. It's not just a policy change; it's a calculated decision that some lives are worth less than the corporate spreadsheet. Yeah.
It's called low income areas, man, where the taxes are not extremely high. It's nothing new, man. It's nothing new. That's why we got lobbyists that they used to actually go to a bat or a politician that you get local politicians for. But it's nothing new. Shit, you probably remember you grew up in the 80s. You remember that damn truck riding around in the neighborhoods, man, spraying for for mosquitoes in the neighborhood.
No.
Seriously?
Mm-mm.
Y'all never had that in Detroit?
A mosquito truck? No.
So man, back in in the 80s, man, in the 80s, right? No, sorry, 80s, maybe early 90s. It was these trucks that ride around, man, in the neighborhoods. Maybe the 80s. They ride around neighborhoods, man. They said they were spraying for mosquitoes, spraying in the trees for mosquitoes to make sure, the mosquitoes wasn't crazy during summertime. And man, we'd be outside playing like, oh, here come mosquito trucks, here come mosquito trucks. Man, come to find out they weren't mosquito trucks, man. There was a chemical they was testing those, man, for Russian warfare. So man, it was a chemical designed, man, to say, man, they said our areas were similar to Russian. So they sprayed that chemical on us to see how it affects us.
I don't know about that. Was
Man,
some lawsuits or something behind the shit?
I said, what now?
Was some lawsuits behind it or something?
We didn't know what the hell it was. When was the 80s? 40 years ago, man? 30 years ago?
I'm saying, was it some type of retaliation, or did anybody get held accountable for it?
No, it was a Tuskegee Airmen incident. Well, I was like, oh, that's what it was for.
No. So how do people find out that's what was going on?
I guess they admitted to it. I mean, when you got third parties and admit to it and say, yeah, in so many words, I don't have the information.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. But I know they ain't got no problem putting companies that pump a bunch of poison in the air in black neighborhoods, even when they know, like they say, like when they know it's gonna cause a problem.
But was it to make the kids, man, obedient or make them move slow? Or I'm not sure what it was for, but it wasn't for mosquitoes. If you get a chance, Google it yourself and tell me what you come up with. That way I know exactly what was on. But those, which is tied into what you were saying. You say what now?
You have to look into that one. I never heard no shit before.
Definitely looking at my location and But it ties into what you just saying. That was things that they done, man. Let's even you go to a sane asylum that was down in St. Louis, huh?
I ain't said shit.
You see what now?
I ain't said shit.
Yeah, there was a sane asylum thing like this place called Malcolm Blitz that housed like 25,000, I think, was 2,500, 25,000, maybe 2,500 people with mental issues. They let them out into the city, man, and said the community would rehab them. So you saw, man, crazy people were walking around in St. Louis, and these people had children and things like that. And people would say, man, well, why is St. Louis so dangerous and so violent? I mean, man, did you forget what you did? I mean, did you forget did you let off their parents into a society and told them that this is the reason for it? So you got one of the highest violence areas in the United States, and you're trying to figure out why. Well, I got an idea of why.
Now,
You brother.
we're in the middle of a war. We did the Venezuela thing. Gas in California is $5 a gallon. Everything costs more. And he want to change the columns to the White House. How do you even come out? How do you even come up with this shit?
He want to change the what now?
The columns to the White House to Corinthian as opposed to what they are. The motherfucker's been there for 200 years, but he want to change like the top of them will look different.
He's just a narcissist, man. He just want to stamp his name on everything, so if you can say, man, and they, the problem is that, man, people that love him so much, like, yes, we love it. We got an idea. Come on, man. The White House was a tradition, man, that you actually, man, to go visit, was visiting a part of history. It wasn't about how nice it was. No one gave a shit how nice it was. It was just you was able to see a part of history. It's kind of like, man, man, going to a place, man, a museum, and everything in there was created in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, we updated the Mona Lisa. We put our own spin on it. We made it digital.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's digital. Yeah, it's digital. Now it's digital. You can see it digital. Okay. Garage door. Think about the Leaning Tower of Lima. Was it Lima, Peru?
No, Twin Tower of Pisa. It's in Italy, I think.
Pisa. Imagine if they straighten it up.
It was a purpose, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
See what I mean? That's what he keeps
What's
doing.
cool about it is it being old. Like that's the purpose.
That's the idea, man. That's what you've seen a part of history. I mean, it's got updated. They get from shit. Talking about,
Let's straighten that shit out, goddammit.
Let's put some big screen TVs on the walls. Put better matches in here. Let's redo all the floor. There. I mean, he did that. He redid the bathroom and everything.
You heard about this?
We begin tonight here with the horrific scene unfolding at one of the
I see all this open and blatant anti-Semitism. And don't get me wrong, I go hard on the Jew. You said what?
What'd you say?
I'm saying like this blatant and open anti-Semitism. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
It's causing these right-wing motherfuckers. And don't get me wrong, I give a Jew a hard time, but not like it's not. I got no dog in a fight. These motherfuckers, these right-wing motherfuckers getting pushed over the edge with this Jew shit.
largest synagogues in the U.S. Authorities say a driver rammed his truck through the barricades and smashed through the front door of Temple Israel just outside Detroit. Smoke could be seen coming from the building. Sources telling ABC News the driver was armed with a rifle. The Oakland County Sheriff says armed security opened fire, the suspect's truck bursting into flames. 140 children among those inside at a preschool, the race to get the children out. The attacker is dead. Tonight, investigators are now trying to determine a possible motive. ABC's Alex Perez leading us off. He's on the ground in Michigan tonight.
Tonight, terror in Michigan as smoke pouring from the roof of one of the nation's largest synagogues after an armed man in a truck steered around the security barricades and plowed right through the front doors. It happened just after noon. Police racing to Temple Israel in West Bloomfield, Michigan, the nation's largest Reformed Jewish congregation and home to a preschool, 140 little kids inside when the chaos unfolded.
Motherfuckers got money in West Bloomfield.
Man, here's the thing about that, man. I found, can you hear me? I found myself, man, openly saying things I've never said before about that community. I found myself, man, yeah, man, I found myself, man, literally, man, I was at the barbershop yesterday, and I was literally, man, going in about, man, where I had to remind people, like, man, they were our alliance at one time. Man, they were a bigger alliance than the so-called brown people, they say. And they all try to, like, man, incorporate blacks and brownies together. It was blacks and Jews. But the moment the Jews, man, put themselves in a better position, they never stopped standing on our necks. They've been applying pressure nonstop.
Yeah.
And they never considered themselves as a part of no. They applied pressure so hard and so fast that black people didn't even realize it. They're like, what happened to them? They're like, man, they gone. Man, you go back to Mississippi Burning, even that movie, Mississippi Burning, I can bring that movie. Mississippi Burning. Man, it was the Jews and blacks. The moment the Jews said, man, hey, we're not incorporated no more, oh, we gone. Pack up, let's go. Go, get shit, go. And never look back. You think, man, when they talk about that young Jew, that young Jewish boy, and them two young Jewish boys and that black boy, that they didn't stay in the same hotel together, sleep in the car together, and possibly in the same neighborhoods? Yeah. Mm-hmm. You see them people that's marching back in civil rights like that? Man, them was Jews, man.
Yeah.
Man. So anyway, man, I hate to say this, but I wonder, man, what's Hitler on?
Hold on. Let Khaled told you back in the early 90s, goddammit. Hold on.
Who?
You are removed from your ghettos of Warsaw and Krakow. You are removed from your ghettos, white Jew. But these, the sons and daughters of Africa, we are still in the ghettos of white America to this very day that we sit here tonight.
They have spent, the city or whatever, has spent a bunch of money on a Jewish museum or something like that, right? And Khalid Muhammad was saying, shit, man, we got problems in these in the black communities and shit. And how come money ain't being invested, you know what I'm saying, for like infrastructure and shit? And so he went to the Jewish Holocaust Museum. It was a Holocaust museum. And so he went to the Holocaust Museum, and then he came back and gave his speech. And you know what I'm saying, he was discussing, you know, Jewish, you know, and black folks in those communities. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that there was a point in American history where Jews were considered white. And once that happened, they didn't have no need for civil rights no more.
No more. At all.
And
they never look back.
And the thing is, like, it didn't happen to me, or I don't recall, you know, I don't know where it happened, but it wasn't a Detroit thing, so I wasn't really aware. When they made the transition, like, I don't know how it is in St. Louis, but like in Detroit, the Arabs came into the communities and controlled all, you know, get the business. The Jews did that in other cities, like right after they abandoned civil rights, and they was like known as like the landlords. So you went from being like my brother to my landlord.
There I went. And applied all pressure. And there was a pressure that we never seen before that they applied. He's like, Jesus, man, go easy. They was like, man, get that old lady out of this neighborhood. She can't pay the rent. We're like,
and well, it becomes a thing where once you get accepted to a group, you got to prove in your participation. Like you got to go harder to show that you belong. Yeah. But I ain't down to like run no goddamn truck into their goddamn church and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that right there is, man, saying I'm set up.
Well, see, it's almost it's a thing. So like, if you on X, right, and a subject comes up, what they'll say is the joke is it's the Jew. And so whenever you talk to a white dude about something and they criticizing black culture, then you criticize white culture, they'll be like, no, that's the Jews. And so they'll say like the Jews own more slaves in America than white people, and the Jews were the ones who had the slave boats, and the Jews are the ones who do this, and everything goes back to the Jews, and that's a very expanding part of the right wing. And then when you got somebody like Tucker Carlson who legitimizes it, it makes it even more structured because they're basically blaming they're basically blaming Israel for killing Charlie Kirk. That's like basically it's like Charlie Kirk was talking to Tucker Carlson and all of them, and he was about to be more critical on Israel and all of that, and then he ended up dead.
Yeah.
That's
Charlie Kirk was dead,
right
man,
wing
because
theory.
Charlie Kirk was dead because man he was talking about Israel. And what's that young lady named Candace Owens?
Yeah.
She thought she can do the same thing until they knocked on the door and said, "Hey, you want to die?" So she kind of like made an announcement that they're trying to kill me, and they was gonna kill her. They was gonna kill her. Well, they fell back for a little while. She fell back a little bit how she was talking as she was doing at first. But yeah, she'll be dead in a couple of years. I hate to say that term, man. I hate to say the way I say that, man, but
I don't think they see her.
Going on here.
I think she'll be saved by their the way they look at black folks is not a threat, and I don't think she's big enough for them to do that. Like I don't think they consider her enough of a threat to do that.
Well, they yanked her off TV. See, she had she was on TV and she was talking. She's nowhere near.
She was on TV. She was on TV. She was on that Judu's network.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Charlie Kirk. But it was growing. She was on. She had made to a couple stations. She was on the way eventually on the way to Fox. You know, she had a voice that people were trying to listen to.
Candace Owens made her bones.
She spoke on behalf of the negative things about Black Americans.
Right. She gained her prominence talking bad about black people, and being a black person talking bad about black people. And she was on that dude. She was on Ben Shapiro's YouTube network channel, whatever. And then when she became critical of the Jews, Ben Shapiro said, "You gotta get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
And then she kind of started doing her own show, and that's when she came with all the crazy conspiracy theories and all that bullshit. But I don't know if she's big enough to garner a murder. And the thing is this: I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm convinced the Jews killed Charlie Kirk because he was about to be critical of them. That's a big accusation.
Big accusation. But let me ask you a question, man. What did Charlie Kirk man do to deserve to die?
Charlie Kirk, well, to the person
like that. I said, man, they trying to kill that guy. Did he do anything, man, that somebody would kill?
Well, Charlie Kirk to me was Charlie Kirk to me was kind of a joke because when he went to people who when he went to Oxford with people who actually knew the subjects that he was discussing, he looked silly. And so Charlie Kirk was kind of a joke to me. But if you look at the individual who killed him and what was going on in his life, I don't think you need to have an international like thing to make that happen. It was some dude who lost his shit.
It's called believing, man, saying, okay, there's no proper way. But man, that's why the CIA is so intelligent. That's why they're so good. Because man, they can convince people, man, for fucking 60 years that Oliver, what's the name? Oliver Lee Harvey Oswald killed Kennedy. Man, they can convince people for years, man, and certain things happen. And people like, man, it did, in order to believe that it didn't happen, it would be a conspiracy. Because it does not make sense. Man, you don't just put somebody in place to set somebody up these kind of things, man, and say, okay, man, they can chase it back to us, or we can. No. Man, tell me about the guy shot down Trump.
I don't fucking know.
In fact, tell me one thing about him.
Shot down Trump, sure.
That's something you can tell me about him. That's all you say. Interesting.
He got killed, didn't he?
Yeah, so did Michael Brown. But you can George Floyd, but you can tell me his background.
Well, they'll never do that with white people who do bad shit. They don't assassinate their character like that. But what I'm saying is the Charlie Kirk guy, shit, it's like he fell in love with a transgender person.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, like, shit, evidence ain't evidence of absence, but still, I can't just,
I'll leave it there.
This is the ugly face of black nationalism in America.
No Jew on the face of the planet Earth can say that you were robbed of your name, your language.
And like, even if you listen to like the overview here, this is the ugly face of black nationalism. But listen to what the man's saying.
With your religion, say that you were robbed. Planet Earth can say that you were robbed of your name, your language, your religion, your culture, your God, your folkways, your mores, your norms. If you do, you're a damn liar. And as Jesus said, the truth is not in you. You make me sick.
A violent anti.
Okay, hold on. I hit the news story, so let me stop this stream real quick. Then I could make another one. I'll stop.